8 months ago, I was sitting in a coffee shop on a random Tuesday afternoon, watching a man across from me struggle with something on his laptop. He kept switching between tabs, copying text, pasting it somewhere else, rewriting paragraphs manually, and sighing every 30 seconds like the screen owed him money. He was visibly frustrated, and the thing is, I could see exactly what he was doing. He was trying to rewrite product descriptions for what looked like an online store, one at a time, word by word. He was doing in 4 hours what the right AI tool could finish in 12 minutes. I know that because after a brief conversation, I showed him. His reaction was a mix of disbelief and genuine irritation that nobody had told him sooner. And that accidental interaction became the seed of a business that now earns me over $100,000 a year. Not from building software, not from coding algorithms, not from anything that requires a technical background, but from filling a gap that almost nobody is talking about. Here is the truth, that most content about AI money gets completely wrong. The opportunity is not in creating AI. The opportunity is in using AI for people who do not know how. And right now, that group of people includes nearly every small business owner, marketing director, operations manager, and solo entrepreneur on the planet. They have heard of ChatGPT, they have maybe tried it once or twice, but they have no idea how to make it do anything actually useful in their day-to-day work. That is the gap. And filling it is the simplest path to serious income I have ever seen. Think about what happened when websites first became a thing back in the late 90s and early 2000s. The people who got rich were not the ones inventing HTML. They were not the ones building browsers or writing server code. They were the ones building simple websites for local dentists and plumbers and florists who knew they needed an online presence but had absolutely no idea where to start. They charged good money for work that was, honestly, not that difficult once you understood the tools. The same pattern is repeating right now with artificial intelligence, except the demand is 10 times bigger and the barrier to entry is 10 times lower. Let me break down exactly how this works with real numbers. There are 3 core services that I offer, and each one commands a premium because the people paying for them have absolutely no interest in learning the tools themselves. The first service is AI-powered content systems. Businesses need blog posts, email sequences, social media calendars, product descriptions, and ad copy. They used to pay writers between $500 and $3,000 a month for this. Now, using AI tools strategically, I can deliver higher volume and often higher quality output in a fraction of the time. I charge between $1,500 and $4,000 per month per client for this service, and my actual time investment per client is about 5 to 8 hours a week. That is not 5 to 8 hours of manual writing. That is 5 to 8 hours of prompting, editing, organizing, and scheduling. The margins are extraordinary. The second service is workflow automation consulting. This is where I go into a business, look at how their team spends their time, and identify every process that AI can improve or eliminate. Data entry, report generation, customer inquiry responses, meeting note summaries, appointment scheduling, invoice processing. The list is honestly endless. Most small businesses have at least 10 to 15 hours a week of work that could be partially or fully automated with existing AI tools. I charge a flat project fee of $3,000 to $7,000 to audit and implement these systems. It usually takes me 2 to 3 weeks per project, and clients see savings that dwarf what they paid me within the first month. The referrals from happy clients alone keep this pipeline full. The third service is custom AI training for teams. Companies know their employees should be using AI, they just do not know how to teach them. I run workshops and create internal documentation that shows teams how to use AI specifically for their industry and their workflows. Not generic prompting tips from a blog post. Tailored, practical, here is how you do your actual job faster training. I charge between $2,000 and $5,000 per workshop, and most companies book a series of 3 to 5 sessions. This is the highest margin service I offer because the preparation time drops dramatically after the first few sessions. You build a library of frameworks and just customize them per client. Now here is where most people stall. They hear all of this and immediately think they are not qualified. They think they need to be an AI expert. They think they need certifications or years of experience, and that belief alone is the reason the opportunity is still wide open. Because the bar is lower than you think. If you spend 2 weeks learning 3 or 4 AI tools deeply, not surface level, but genuinely understanding how to prompt them effectively, chain outputs together, and integrate them into real business contexts, you will know more than 95% of business owners. That is not an exaggeration. Most business owners have spent less than an hour total actually experimenting with AI. Your 2 weeks of focused learning puts you in a completely different league. Let me talk about how to actually get clients, because the best service in the world means absolutely nothing without people willing to pay for it. This is where most aspiring entrepreneurs overthink everything and end up paralyzed. When I started, I had no portfolio, no testimonials, no audience, and honestly no real confidence that anyone would take me seriously. What I did have was a willingness to do free work for 2 businesses in exchange for honest feedback and a testimonial. I picked 2 local businesses, one a real estate agency and one a small e-commerce brand. I spent a week with each of them. For the real estate agency, I built an AI system that generated property descriptions, social media posts, and email follow-ups for new listings. It saved their marketing person about 12 hours a week. For the e-commerce brand, I created an automated customer FAQ response system and a product description generator. Both businesses were thrilled. Both gave me testimonials. And within 3 weeks, both had referred me to other business owners. That was the entire launch strategy. No ads, no funnel, no website even. Just results that spoke loudly enough for other people to hear. What I want you to understand is that this compounds in ways that are hard to appreciate until you experience it firsthand. Every client you serve teaches you something new about a specific industry. Every problem you solve becomes a proven template you can apply to the next client faster and with more confidence. Every workflow you automate becomes a system you can replicate. 6 months in, I was spending less time per client but charging more because my systems were refined and my expertise was genuinely deep. That is the power of this model. It does not just scale in revenue, it scales in efficiency. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. This window is not going to stay open forever. Right now, the gap between what AI tools can do and what most people know how to do with them is enormous. That gap is your opportunity. But every month, the tools get more intuitive. Every month, more people figure this out. Every month, the competition gets a little stiffer. The people who start now are building client relationships, developing reputations, and establishing expertise that will be extremely difficult to replicate once this space gets crowded. Early movers in any industry have an advantage that late movers almost never overcome. So here is your 90-day plan, and I want to be specific because vague advice is worthless. Days 1 through 14, pick 3 AI tools and learn them deeply. I recommend starting with ChatGPT or Claude for text generation, a workflow automation platform for connecting different business apps, and one AI image or design tool. Do not skim tutorials. Actually build things, create sample outputs, practice prompting until you can reliably produce professional quality results. Days 15 through 30, do free work for 2 local businesses. Pick ones where you already have a connection, even a loose one. Offer to solve one specific problem using AI. Document everything, the before state, the after state, the time saved, and the quality improvement. Get testimonials. Days 31 through 60, start charging. Use your case studies and testimonials to reach out to similar businesses. Price yourself confidently, but not outrageously. Deliver incredible value. Ask every happy client for 2 referrals. Days 61 through 90, systematize and scale. Build templates for your most common deliverables. Create standard operating procedures for your services. Start thinking about which tasks you can eventually delegate. By the end of 90 days, if you execute consistently, you should have at least 3 to 5 paying clients and a clear path to scaling further. I know this sounds aggressive, and honestly, it is. But the people who treat this like a casual hobby are the ones who never break through. The people who go all in for 90 days are the ones sending me messages 6 months later telling me they have replaced their full-time income. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. The AI revolution is not coming. It is here. It arrived months ago, and it is accelerating every single week. And while most people are still debating whether AI will take their jobs or scrolling past headlines without taking action, a small group of people are quietly building real businesses by helping others adapt. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room. You do not need venture capital or a team or a fancy website. You just need to be the most useful person in the room. Learn the tools, solve real problems, get paid well for it. That is the entire secret. It is not complicated. It is not glamorous. It is just urgent.